Coming up, an exclusive look inside MacArthur's library. Get rolling during Norfolk's Bike Month, and a temporary facelift for Granby Street aims for permanent results. These and many more stories from Woodbine to Willoughby on Norfolk News Now. Welcome to the May edition of Norfolk News Now. I'm Lori Crouch. Thanks for joining us. The city of Norfolk is home to another library, this one unlike any other in the world. The Triple N's John Linka has an exclusive look at the unique and extensive collection at the MacArthur Memorial Library.
When the MacArthur Memorial was established in 1964, one of the main stipulations they had in creating the place was that they would set up an international research center that was based on all the materials that MacArthur had collected out throughout his life and then donated to the city. It was really what they wanted when they first went after him. They wanted all of his books, all of his papers from throughout his career, as well as all his memorabilia. It was only during the process of working at everything out that MacArthur decided he wanted to be buried here. But this is really what the city wanted when they first started it. They wanted to have this library, research center that attracted people from all over the world, because MacArthur had such a long 52-year career serving in World War I, World War II, occupation of Japan, Korean War. The materials that he collected over the years were valuable estimation to all researchers throughout the world. Like I say all the time, it's Christmas for me every day. For the past 50 years, what we've done is, starting with the MacArthur collection, we've added continually to that. We've added 18 of the generals that he had throughout World War II, Korea, and then maybe 3,000 smaller collections. And that's from veterans or anybody who had anything to do with MacArthur. Pretty much everything prior to 1942 is all destroyed. When they're in Corregidor, when the Japanese invade the Philippines, MacArthur leaves everything he owns in this place called the Manila Hotel, where he lived. And that was all of his World War I papers, all of his previous correspondence, all of his father's papers, all of his father's Civil War uniforms, his father's Medal of Honor, all stayed there in that apartment in Manila. 1945, when the American forces returned to the Philippines, the battle for Manila, the place that he lived becomes a major command post for the Japanese, and it gets destroyed. So everything he owns prior to that point is pretty much wiped out. The only things that survive from that pre-war collection are these Cambridge Modern Histories. And these are the only books that you'll find that still have the father's book plate. Here it is from August 10, 1911, as well as Douglas MacArthur's book plate. Now, these were in the basement of the Manila Hotel when it was destroyed during the Battle for Manila. So these are the only ones from that collection that predate 1942. It's a rare collection that you don't find anywhere else. It's made up of the 5,000 volume library that MacArthur collected after 42, another 20,000 works that we've collected over the years, probably about 75,000 photographs, about 500 films. So it's quite a mass of material that is used daily. We get maybe 3,000, 4,000 researchers a year just because of the amount of material that MacArthur collected. The great thing is with the internet, before that it was a hard time finding people. Now you can find people's families, anybody that, say, served with MacArthur. If you know the last place of their residence, you can go there and find family members. We've done that. We added a massive collection about 5 years ago. It was about 5,000 maps, about 3,000 books, all concerning the Philippines. This man, his father had been one of the first colonial governors in a place called Baguio. It's the summer capital of the Philippines. And during the colonial period, he would go there and live with his father. He was captured by the Japanese, thrown into a prison camp that they threw all the civilians in. After that, he spent his whole life collecting everything he could about the Philippines. So then, because he knows the MacArthur connection, because he knows the Philippine connection, that all then comes here. And that's the way it works out. Now, when everything first came here, it was still classified, top secret. So the U.S. Army made the city of Norfolk build this reinforced steel concrete vault to hold everything that's in there. It's probably the safest place outside the ATF gun room right down the street. But within here, these are where all the materials are that we have. And as you can see, this is just one row of materials that is full of MacArthur memorabilia, photographs, films, Gene MacArthur's papers, and this is one of 8 different aisles. We have about probably 2 million pages of artifacts, roughly about, like I said, 75,000 odd photographs. And this is what the people use when they come in. Everything's kept in acid-free boxes. It's all temperature, humidity controlled, so nothing deteriorates over time. The value is beyond estimation. I mean, the books alone are a lot of 19th century, early 20th century, most all of them signed by the authors because they gave them to MacArthur. People would, like here we have a massive Napoleonic collection that's unique in the United States because when English Duke found out MacArthur had lost everything in the Philippines, he sent him his whole Napoleonic collection. There are books signed by Victor Hugo in here. This is a book by Victor Hugo from the 19th century, and this is the one that was given to him by somebody else, and that has Victor Hugo's signature in it. But this is just one of many hundreds within the collection that are all signed by the authors that he had. MacArthur being such a famous person, people would send him everything that they had. Now, one of the goofiest ones that we have is Douglas MacArthur was born in Arkansas. He was only there for about 1.5 years of his life. And this is a book that was in his collection that we don't know where it comes from. And it's What I Know About Arkansas by Douglas MacArthur. And you open it up and it's completely blank inside. There isn't anything in there. And so this is one of the goofier things that you'll find in the MacArthur Memorial. The amount of materials within the archival collection, you know, signed photographs from Winston Churchill, you know, that have gone for as much as 15,000 just recently. You know, the same kind of photographs. The signing of, there's a famous picture of MacArthur with the Emperor of Japan after when the occupation started. There's only 3 copies in the world that both of them signed it. You know, we have one. This is the famous MacArthur Hirohito picture. And as you can see, both of them have signed it. And that puts it, I mean, there's maybe 3 in the country, 3 in existence. And, you know, that puts this price tag on the 6 figures at least. Now, this is everything new just in the past 2 years that we're in the process of cataloging, dumping into the computer, indexing. So it'll, you know, it's an ongoing project all the time. But this gives you an idea of the volume of materials that are constantly coming in. These have all just come in within the past few weeks. You know, papers, videos, pictures that people had. So it's an ongoing, nonstop thing. There's no place that a general or an admiral is buried there, has all of his materials around him, has a research center set up. I mean, the closest is probably the Nimitz Museum in Texas, but Admiral Nimitz isn't buried there and their archives isn't as extensive as ours is. So it really is a unique place. I think MacArthur knew that. He said, you know, everything's going to be free and open to the public. You know, there's no charge to come in here, and there's no charge to do research or anything like that. He wanted the materials to get out. He wanted people to be able to come and do free, open research. You know, everything here is for everyone to use. The MacArthur Memorial isn't a hospital. You know, it's a historical research center, and we're available to everyone. And please, in this region especially, if you ever have some kind of program you're working on or a project, we are more than happy to help.
Norfolk High School students recently got a chance to see firsthand what it's like to run a city during Norfolk's second annual Youth in Government Day. A large group of 11th and 12th grade students were welcomed by Norfolk Mayor Paul Frame and participated in a local government 101 workshop with City Manager Marcus Jones. The students, representing both public and private high schools in the city, were paired with different city leaders throughout numerous departments to shadow them, ask questions, and become a city employee for a little while.
I thought it was really cool. The mentors were really nice, and I liked how casual it was the whole time. I was afraid it was going to be really awkward between everyone, but they were really helpful, and we just had a good back and forth conversation instead of asking each other formal questions the whole time.
Then it was back up to council chambers for a Q&A session with Vice Mayor Anthony Burfoot and Councilwoman Angela Williams. Coordinated by the Bureau of Youth Services, Youth in Government Day serves as an interactive way for students to become engaged in municipal government. Students were handpicked by their school principals to participate. Residents with smartphones have a new way to stay connected to local law enforcement. The MyPD app is a platform that allows users to find out about Norfolk Police Department events, get information about warrants, follow police department posts on social media, and share feedback or ask questions. The app is free to residents and available for both the iPhone and Android phones. Just go to the Apple App Store or the Android Market and search for MyPD. Norfolk is only the second jurisdiction in Virginia to offer the MyPD app to residents. If you stopped by the Blyden branch of the Norfolk Public Library recently, you found the doors closed. But don't worry, the doors will reopen on a newly renovated space in just a few weeks. As part of the Neighbors Building Neighborhoods initiative, the Blyden branch is getting major interior and landscaping improvements. The newly renovated library will have fresh paint as well as new lighting, furniture, shelving, computers, and carpeting. The Kids Zone is also getting an update. Outside, look for new landscaping, a book return slot, and new doors. The Blyden branch is on schedule to reopen by July 1st. In the meantime, holds on library materials from Blyden can be picked up at the Jordan Newby branch on Park Avenue, and you can return any library materials to any of the Norfolk Public Library's 10 other branches and the Bookmobile. A small area of Granby Street got quite the facelift last month, and while the project may have been temporary, the solidarity of Norfolk residents that it showcased will live on. Our man John Linka has the story.
We started looking at the city the same way. If we had a broken block, how could we take the best parts of all of the city and put it into one place to get it kick-started, urban defibrillate that place, make it alive again?
That was the question a few months back, posed by Andrew Howard, part of Team Better Block, a Texas-based company with a knack for re-beautifying cities one block at a time, quickly, with little money and a lot of volunteer help. Enter that volunteer help. These were just a few of the hundreds of Norfolk residents and volunteers who took part in their first ever Norfolk Better Block.
I could sum it up, it would be a temporary makeover to sort of demonstrate the kind of city, what the kind of city we want to live in looks like.
The theme for this Better Block? An arts district.
I'm originally from New York. And you can imagine up there, it's a melting pot of different people, cultures, everything. So, I mean, the fact that they're trying to bring that mixture or that diversity to this area and to brighten it up, I think it's wonderful.
The week-long makeover took place on Granby Street between Olney Road and Addison Street. Once nicknamed Auto Row, it used to be a thriving section of Granby Street full of auto dealerships and people. But more recently, it could be described as
derelict,
deserted.
Where are all the businesses? Where's all the life?
All the life showed up at the end of the Better Block Build-a-thon, which was the whole point. Temporarily spice up the block, get people there,
Hi, how are you?
And show them all the possibilities and potential that are available for this block, and really any block in Norfolk.
In my eyes, it's a walkable, vibrant, artistic, friendly community.
I actually work here at CoLab, one of the members, and had a shop down here for a while, 540 Design, and so I was in this space for about 3 years, and it was pretty dead down here. So, I mean, just in 2 days to see this many people suddenly using the space and enjoying the street and kind of valuing it, it's pretty incredible.
The weekend celebration was filled with street vendors,
Don, hey, there's 2 beef,
cafes, and, of course, fun.
You know, when you go into this, we get a lot of questions, what's going to be like, and it is an act of improv. And we know if we gather the right folks together, that something great's going to come out of it. So I'd actually rank this in the top 5 across the whole country. We've done about 48, 50 of these now, and Norfolk really came out.
It all ties back into Norfolk's philosophy of neighbors building neighborhoods.
This is essentially a reflection of us. So why not have us do it? You know what I mean? If it's going to be something that we're going to appreciate or have around, you know, it tells a story. What are we doing?
This is what the residents of Norfolk are doing, putting their minds together, trying to better their city one block at a time. And even though it was great, all of this was only temporary. So what's next?
Norfolk's got about 30 days here to capture this momentum. The cities are going to have to be nimble and quick about making things like this permanent. A lot of ordinances being broken that need to be, that are left over from 30s and 40s age. And so we've got a short period of time to catch this momentum and make it legal and give the incentives here to make it permanent.
I hope that everything that's done here is supported so that it could stay here. And the model that's applied to this block during this weekend is applied, maybe not the rest of the city, but large parts of it.
For Norfolk News Now, I'm John Linka.
May means Bike Month in the city of Norfolk. All throughout the month, the city is celebrating and promoting the use of bikes to get from point A to point B. Each May, several city departments come together and promote biking as an economical, environmentally friendly form of recreation, fitness, and transportation.
Well, it warms my heart because, I mean, for many years in the past, it really hasn't been, and we've sort of felt like we've been on our own, but you know, in the last couple of years, I feel like the city's starting to step up and pay attention and really see the potential that cycling can have in the city.
As part of the celebration, there are community rides planned throughout the city. The first 500 people to pre-register for a group ride at NorfolkBikeMonth.com will get a free Norfolk Bike Month t-shirt. In addition to the planned community rides, you can participate in Bike to Work Week or International Bike to School Day. For a complete list of group rides and all the other Bike Month activities, visit NorfolkBikeMonth.com. Before you hit the road, remember kids 14 and younger are required to wear a protective helmet when riding, and it's not a bad idea for everyone over the age of 14 as well. You might have noticed a subtle green change on the streets of downtown Norfolk. Compact smart cars have replaced the city's golf carts and three-wheeled Cushmans. The fleet of 11 smart cars cost $141,000. The self-sustaining parking fund covered the purchase price. The smart cars are more fuel efficient, averaging 40 miles to the gallon, and they are built with 80% recycled material. The cost of the fleet includes 4 years of maintenance. The old Golf and Cushman carts were purchased in the 70s and 80s and cost the city nearly $40,000 a year to maintain. The Department of Parking plans to sell those old carts at auction and return any of the profits to the parking fund. Efforts to restore Collie Bay moved forward with a wetlands planting event on Earth Day weekend. City employees and volunteers worked in crews of 3 to dig holes, fertilize, and plant Spartina grass in the newly restored wetlands area near Larchmont Elementary. The grass provides a habitat for juvenile crabs and finfish, as well as food for geese and sparrows. It also helps prevent erosion. This is part of a larger effort to restore the entire Collie Bay area.
We are restoring the shoreline in Collie Bay. This is part of a comprehensive plan that we have to restore between 1st Street and 50th Street. Old Dominion University has done some Phragmites control work and some wetland planning. We've eliminated some Phragmites on the city property over here behind the Larchmont Elementary School. And this is the latest project that sort of dovetails. You can see this project over here was done by the Old Dominion University biology grad students. So this is the latest piece of that puzzle. This is 750 linear feet of shoreline, and we're restoring, doubling the size of the wetland and planting new trees and making it all more sustainable with sea level rise.
The Collie Bay Living Shoreline and Wetland Restoration Project serves as a model city and regional wetland restoration effort. For more information about local efforts to preserve our wetlands, visit the Bureau of Environmental Services online through the city's website, norfolk.gov. When we come back, a bigger venue, a better competition than ever. Norfolk's Senior Olympics celebrate 30 years. A chess phenom makes Norfolk one of the stops on her most recent tour, plus a chance to get up close and to some of those amazing animals at the circus.
It's easy and safe to roll together on Norfolk's roads. This is one of Norfolk's new Sharrows. Sharrows remind motorists to slow their roll and treat bikes like other vehicles. Bikes have just as much right to the road. If you can't pass by more than 2 feet, slow down and wait. They also remind bicyclists to know their role by traveling with traffic and obeying all signals and signs. It's up to all of us to share the road because we roll together.
Welcome back to the Triple N. The City of Norfolk was proud to host the 30th annual Norfolk Senior Olympics this month. For 3 days, residents aged 50 or better competed in a number of events at Norfolk State University. 30 athletic competitions included swimming, golf, bowling, and more.
But one thing is something to do, and I can use my motor skills, my muscles, my coordination and everything, keep up with that.
New to the event this year were volleyball and badminton. More than 900 participants representing 18 senior clubs and senior living facilities throughout the city took part. In addition to the competition, the Senior Olympics event included a resource fair to help connect area seniors with senior-serving businesses and organizations. The annual event was established in 1983 with the goal of helping seniors succeed and get or remain active. Some of Norfolk's future senior Olympians have a few more stops to make before they get a shot at the gold. One of those stops, kindergarten. One of City Manager Marcus Jones's priority for Norfolk is lifelong learning. And to get an even earlier start on that priority, the City of Norfolk teamed up with Norfolk Public Schools last month for the first ever pre-K and kindergarten roundup festivals. For 3 days, families of pre-K and kindergarten students attended the festivals and registered their children for school next fall. Registering at these roundups helps the kids get ready to learn on the very first day of school.
It makes, allotting classrooms, assigning teachers, knowing what resources are needed earlier is always better. And as well, it's a best practice that's done around the country in different cities to begin that transition, that psychological transition for children from being at home or if they're in an early care facility to actually being in big school for kindergarten.
The roundups at Booker T, Lake Taylor, Maury, Granby, and Norview high schools included school registration, a free pizza dinner, raffles, giveaways, and children's activities.
This is awesome. This is absolutely awesome because being able to do, like you said, to do it now versus later. We don't have to go through the whole hustle and bustle of going to the school actually and having to sign up, doing all those kind of things. I think it's excellent the way they're doing it. I honestly do. It's an excellent opportunity for the kids.
The roundups are a partnership between MPS, the City of Norfolk, Norfolk's Ready by 5, Smart Beginnings Southampton Roads, and the United Way of Southampton Roads, and the Hampton Roads Community Health Center. Lost in Norfolk's rich architectural history is a little-remembered and short-lived hotel, the Savoy. But that's about to change. Recently, U.S. Development of Columbia, South Carolina announced it purchased the old hotel. The company plans to renovate it and add 40 new housing units to the downtown area. The Savoy was a hotel during the 1907 Jamestown Exposition. That's an international fair celebrating the 300th year of our country's founding and later became the site of the Norfolk Naval Base. The property is included on the Historic Register as part of the Downtown Norfolk Historic District. Also, the Norfolk Preservation Alliance names the building as one of Norfolk's most endangered historical buildings. The USS Wisconsin saw its share of battles during her heyday, but recently there was a different fight going on inside the ship, one for chess supremacy. The Triple N's John Linka explains how a board game is changing lives across the seas of the world.
James Schuyler is a Virginia State chess champion. Last month at Nauticus, he competed against 9 other chess players at the exact same time.
It is a lot harder than playing one person. There's no question about it. I mean, it just comes down to the fact that you don't have very much time to think, because you're going from board to board. Well, and you just have to keep on switching your thinking. It's like changing channels every 3 seconds. It's like chess channel surfing.
It's amazing because you don't know what they are going to do first.
One opponent who might know what James could do first is another chess champion, 17-year-old Ugandan chess phenom, Fiona Mutesi.
I'm so excited. I don't know. I can't even express my excitement, but I'm so excited to be here.
Known as the Queen of Katwe, she was in town as part of the U.S. Chess Federation and the Norfolk Initiative for Chess Excellence's effort to bring new chess and education experiences to Norfolk schools and the community, helping kids understand how chess can benefit them away from the chessboard.
If you're playing chess, you think of what you're going to win, what's next. That's like a hope of winning. So it helps someone to gain hope in your future, like what am I going to have in hope? What's the hope you have? Even hope someone to have a dream.
Fiona would know firsthand about that. Growing up in the slums of Uganda, she learned to play chess, which she's now using to help her reach her dreams.
It has helped me to get a dream of becoming a doctor in the future so that I can help those people in the slums, like treatment, the kids. When I go back, in case I become a doctor, I want to go back and set up a clinic and help them.
Proof that chess can be a way to an education, both in the classroom and in life.
It's been linked to scholastic achievements.
Whoa! Check.
And reductions in dementia. So it doesn't matter how old or young you are if you just want to get benefits and enjoy the game.
Speaking of classrooms, before the day was done, the Norfolk Sheriff's Office presented Fiona with school supplies for her to take back to her classrooms in her home country. For Norfolk News Now, I'm John Linka.
City Manager Marcus Jones recently traveled to the port city of Ningbo, China. There, Mr. Jones participated in the signing of the Friendship City Agreement with the Ningbo Balloon District and Ningbo Economic and Technical Development Zone of China. The Friendship Agreement builds sustainable educational, cultural, and economic development relationships. Ningbo and Norfolk are both home to active ports, and this friendship agreement marks the very first with a strong emphasis on economic development. It is also one step in the process to become a sister city. The 5-day trip included meetings with Governor Bob McDonnell in Ningbo as part of his economic development and job creation trip. A year ago, a delegation from Ningbo visited Norfolk. For years, Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus has thrilled Norfolk audiences at Scope. If you've ever been to the circus, you've gotten a chance to see the animals from a bit of a distance. But did you know you can get an even closer look at many of your favorite circus animals before the show? The Triple N's John Linka takes you under the tent for an exclusive look at the circus's animal stars.
This is a really big elephant toe, attached to a really big elephant. But what the heck was it doing in Scope's exhibition hall last month, 90 minutes before each circus showtime?
This is the Animal Open House, and this is a great opportunity before the show for the parents, the children, the families to come in and see all of these great animals up close and personal.
One thing was certain.
That is going to be exciting.
There were elephants, horses, and ponies for kids to look at and learn about.
Throughout the exhibit area here are displays with information about the animals, talking about their health, their lifespan. It's a chance for the folks who are coming to the show before the show to come here to see the animals, to get up close to the animals, and to kind of have that intimate experience.
The main attraction, of course, was the tigers.
Because they're cool. They're fierce.
Intimacy with them can be saved for another day.
I like that one.
This so-called pregame show has been going on for years when the circus comes to Scope, and it's open to all ticket holders who want to learn more about the animals they'll see during the circus performance.
It was exciting. My son loved it, so that's why we came in early, so he could see the animals. It's a nice opportunity to get to see them rather than coming in and just seeing the show. You get to really get a little bit closer to the animals, so it was nice.
When you get in here and you see the children, particularly the young children, as you said, they're in such close proximity to the animals that kind of the look of wow and wonder on their faces, it's just really special and really magical, and it's a really neat benefit to be able to offer to them.
For Norfolk News Now, I'm John Linka.
That wraps up the May edition of Norfolk News Now on the Triple N. Thanks for watching Norfolk's Neighborhood Network for all things Norfolk. I'm Lori Crouch. Take care of yourself and your city, and don't forget to celebrate life daily.